I felt like when we spoke briefly about this about a couple of years ago, I had a car accident and I had some loss in my family, and it shifted how I look at life. And I thought, before that year, I thought I knew everything. I'm spiritual.
Girl, I done read every book and
I
can tell you all the books.
Right, but so when I got rocked like that, it made me realize, oh, you don't know everything, and you're actually doing some things wrong, and you're going to be uncomfortable while you're trying to figure out how to fix it. And so I think I fixed a lot of things, and I think sometimes it takes trauma or it takes tragedy to shift you that way. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I thought about this podcast. But the truth is, why do we wait till somebody dies to think, oh, I got to live every day?
Yeah.
Oh, life is short. My time is. We should be reminded of that all the time.
Before we start, I do want to say rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. If people don't know, this is Laura London. This is Nipsey Hussle's girlfriend at the time. And this is one of her few interviews that she ever does. So it was very informative. I got to listen to the interview a little bit. So I want y'all to check out certain pieces that I picked out over the interview.
And when do you come back?
When it was like all done. Like it was over. Mm-hmm. It was over. And everybody went back to their lives and it faded to black. Then it got real. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, oh shit, you in this. Mm. It's like, it's a tunnel, baby, and you gotta walk through. It's no shortcuts out. You can't turn back around because there's nothing back there. And all you see is pitch black ahead. You don't know how long this tunnel is and ain't nobody else in it with you. You hear some people, but you can't see them.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, man. I can't even imagine what this young lady's going through. This part right here, I believe she's really talking about her depressive state and when did she realize that, Nipsey Hussle was gone. Also going into her depressive state. And also, man, I tell people all the time, man, make sure you try to communicate, with people as much as possible, bro. When you're going through depression, but also on the other end, when you're approaching people with depression or depressive states or tragedy and things like that, you still need to treat them as human beings. Most people who go through depression don't want the pity party. They don't really want any sympathy. They really just want you to be. They want you to still continue to have fun. They want you to still be able to be present. There's going to be times where that person may break down. And of course, at that point, you still, show your remorse and things of that nature. But, in the event, I think that a lot of people try to pull the depression out of people. And a lot of times, man, that shit does not work. It keeps them in that depressive state. And then at the end of the day, you start getting weird as well because you're trying to help this person. But it just shows that it's not working.
Where are you? If you don't want to answer this or you don't like the question, we throw it away.
What?
But where are you with love?
Oh, I this doesn't bother me because here's the thing. I have another perspective on relationships, and you don't want to have that conversation with me.
Okay.
I think a lot of them are ego-driven, and they're not pure.
I believe that, too.
So why would I take myself in this vulnerable state into my ego, and I'm trying to get out of it?
First, I'm going to say, I love the fact that she's very transparent in her hurt and the things that she's going through and all that stuff with her kids. Make sure you go to watch the interview on, I think it's Angie. Make sure you go to watch the interview. It's a great interview. And this is the part that got everybody riled up and, what are we supposed to do with this and things like that. Again, I tell people, number one, this is a celebrity. This is an entertainer. Her viewpoints in her life are different from that of the normal person. But she does make a very profound statement here. This is, and the one thing I want to talk about is I actually agree with this particular part. I actually had a conversation for the last week on nowadays people are more individualist than really prepared for a relationship, really prepared for partnering with another individual and going on a life journey. Especially within the manosphere, it's cool to talk about man points and things of that nature. It's cool to talk about what man needs and things like that. But from a healthier perspective as well, when it comes to relationships, we as men also have to learn to live with another gender, like a woman. And she lost her partner, and so I can only imagine, man. I remember that shit. I don't know if it was Kodak Black or whoever it was who took the time out of their day to talk about they would fuck or they would date Laura London, and that was so ignorant because people don't understand that, when losing a partner, there's a lot of energy that goes into losing a partner, man. There's a lot of moments and history and things like that you can't just replace just with a fuck. You can't just replace with another guy or something like that. That's why people have to take time off in between relationships in order to actually think about the things they've done wrong, the things they've done right, the tragedies that might have happened, the trauma that could have happened within that relationship, in order to actually, have a great standing in their next relationship. I feel like people dead ass just move from relationship to relationship to relationship, and you're compounding so many different traumatic things. People can't even keep up with what they actually what's actually the problem within their relationships, because they keep going and sometimes doing the same shit over and over and over and over again, instead of stopping and saying, hey man, you know what, I need a moment. I need to breathe and think about myself and things like that. And I believe that's what she's going through. That's my opinion of what she's specifically talking about.
I'm in death of the ego space. Why do I need why? Does that make my life complete? I'll never get married. Does that mean I'm not on purpose?
I need you to explain.
I'm gonna get a lot of slack for this one because I have a whole thing about it.
No, I need to know.
Okay.
I mean, that's not a small thing to drop.
Okay.
Because relationships are hard as fuck.
Absolutely.
Right? And so
mine was.
It was
very hard. Hell yeah.
Because we make it like a fantasy in our heads. Like,
No.
you guys had the perfect relationship. You were on the horse.
Angie dropped such a good gem right there that she probably doesn't even realize she dropped. So many times we see the celebrities through Instagram, through glimpses, through Snapchat, TikTok. We see the joy, the beauty. We see all that with these, they inspire us to fall in love. Let's be honest. Like nowadays, you know what I mean? Whether it's Lil Durk in India, whether it's, I don't know, whoever the fuck else y'all niggas like. But, they inspire us. Jay-Z and Beyonce, they inspire us to fall in love. They inspire us. And, they use the glimpses of Instagram and all this stuff. And to be real with you, some of that stuff is just for money too. That's why you see a lot of celebrities nowadays falling in and out of dating after 1 or 2 years, because at the end of the day, it was just about, some clout, money, opportunities, photo opportunities, things like that to keep their clout going. But there's so many times, man, and I'm glad she's kind of opening up to, the hard times and things like that, because all we see are the good times. We don't get to see too much of like what's going on behind the scenes, the arguments, the breakups and things of that nature until they put it out on social media. But that's so true, man. This is why I always say, like, stop worshiping these celebrities, because they're human too, and focus more on your individual relationships that are in front of you.
We saw you on the horse.
We had pure love. We had pure love, but that does not mean that we were not human and our egos did not get attached in aspects of our relationship. But we definitely had pure love. And I didn't think about it until I wasn't in relationship anymore because of the death, right? A lot of times, not all the time, we are in such of in our ego that we are in possession of another person. We're not experiencing them. We're not totally loving them and letting them be free. We think we're supposed to be together forever. And that's not a spiritual relationship. Spiritual relationship is without the ego. It is we are together. I bring you up, inspire you, you inspire me. Now, if there ever comes a point where I'm not inspired anymore and that now I'm in my ego, now I feel I need to possess you, now I feel the need to control you and you're mine, I'm in my ego. And that's not love. There's love in there, but now I'm operating more in my ego and not in my pure love.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what a spiritual relationship is, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I fully agree with her, because I would ask her about boundaries. Where do you establish your boundaries and things like that? And if there are boundaries, because, some people would perceive what she's saying is, okay, one of you can step outside the relationship whenever you don't feel inspired. And we still understand that there is still a respect within the boundaries. Unless that's something that you guys talked about. You can sleep with other people, you can go around, but that's whatever. But you know what I mean? A lot of people would see that, they would hear that, and they would go, okay, so what boundaries did you two set for each other in order to make sure that at least you guys are respecting each other's spaces and time and energy that you're putting into this relationship? Now, let me say this. They sound like they had a good relationship for the most part. Not everybody's relationship, especially celebrities, are going to be yours or going to be like yours or something that you want. But at the end of the day, I've heard of people who are like, hey, I think I can only be married for 5 years and then I got to reevaluate this marriage. I've seen some people go so far as an every year type of thing, even though they are married on paper and things like that. Every year they sit back and say, all right, do I still want to be within this marriage? Do I still want to be here with you? And that's something that you got to reevaluate within your own time and space. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Peace.